Good afternoon. Everything I learned about homelessness, I learned from Wolfman and Little Red Riding Hood. So as a young Marine just out after the first Gulf War, I'm volunteering at a local soup kitchen. I'm ladling this bowl of soup, and the volunteer next to me says, "Look out, man, here comes Wolfman." And I look up, and this guy's right in front of me. He's got hair all over his face and these really piercing blue eyes. And I'm ladling this bowl of soup, and I say, "Hey, man, what's your name?" And he just growls at me, takes his bowl of soup, and goes sits in the corner table where nobody would sit with him. So I said, I'm not afraid of Wolfman. I'm going to go over there and see what's up with this guy. Get my bowl of soup, go sit next to him. Longest pause, nothing. Finally, he says, "My name's Steve." And for about the next 40 minutes, he told me about this really sad story of him growing up, losing both his mom and his dad. In a tragic situation, he jumped into a bottle of booze, but what was really sad was there's all these helpers, these well-meaning people that were all fueled by government-funded programs that were just underwriting and subsidizing Steve's homeless addict lifestyle. And the more he talked about it, the more upset I got, and it hit me. It's like, as a Marine, right, where we got to figure out what the opponent is. And it hit me that Steve was up in the churn, getting consumed by this churn, and that this thing, the churn, was the enemy. Shortly after that, I'm working in a winter shelter with my wife and my two boys. It was a shelter designed for homeless men. And I look around, there's all these families and kids that are kind of unexpectedly showing up at the shelter. And one night, Jessica, Little Red Riding Hood, she reached up and she grabbed really hard on my sleeve and she yanked it. And she said, in the most innocent voice, she said, "Hey, mister, are you here too? Are you living here too?" And I got down on one knee and I said, "You know what, sweetheart, I don't live in this place, but I'm gonna make you a promise. We're gonna do everything we can to get you out of here and get you back into a home." And I looked over at her mom and I realized that we had to get to her mom in order to save Jessica from the churn, because she was headed to the churn. And that's why I named her Little Red Riding Hood. It was like she was running from this threat. When I looked at it from a policy perspective, when I looked at it from a homeless services kind of map perspective, what it looked like to me was this massive maze, and in the top left corner it says, "Start here." Well, that's the last place that I would want Jessica or any family to start in. It was this jumbled service maze. So with Jessica in mind and all these other families, we launched a movement called Solutions for Change, and we broke it down into 3 pillars over many years going forward. The first pillar is a personal development academy we call Solutions University. The second one, a workforce development, where people get up, suit up, and show up, and they go work in a state-of-the-art aquaponics farming operation, largest now in the Western United States, where people are learning how to get back into the workforce. And the third one, a real estate development company, where we go in, find depressed properties that are in dire need of a lot of love, and we pour into those properties, and then our families go live in healthy communities in the real estate development places that we build. And so what this looks like unpacked is the Personal Development Academy is a 1,000-day to a permanent solution. When we think of homelessness, we're talking deep poverty, multi-generational poverty with all those issues. You can't solve that in a 3-month or a 6-month or even a 1-year program. It took years for these families to get here. So 1,000 days of a complete investment, equipping them with the skills, knowledge, and resources that they need to figure out what the underlying driving causative factors are, attacking those, solving them, and lifting people up out of deep poverty through this personal development approach with servant leadership as the main curriculum in the university. The second one is our solutions farms. So as I said, started as an idea, hey, wouldn't it be kind of neat with this aquaponics thing? It's kind of brand new form of farming. We quickly land a large innovation grant. Now it's the largest in the Western United States. But what's really neat about it is that we're growing some of the best food you can put in your body, certified organic food. Our kids who were junk food dependent now are eating this great food. But what's even better is that we're selling the food into the local market, and the schools found out about it and said, "Chris, you're not going to believe this, but these kids really like your lettuce." So now over 50,000 kids in our school districts are eating this certified organic lettuce, and all that revenue is coming back into our operations here to underwrite the futures for our families as they go through Solutions University. And then our real estate development arm, so we go and we find these really bad communities that need a lot of love. We rehab those communities or we build from the ground up. And we are then earning developer fees from that, but we're also getting the rental income from that from their families versus master leasing with other folks where we weren't getting that rental income. So all that money is poured back into our nonprofit organization. But really what it all comes down to, why we exist, why does Solutions for Change do what we do, is bottom left is high dependency and negative well-being or negative impact on society. So everything we do, all of our inputs, all of our throughputs, everything we do, it's all about getting people from bottom left to top right. And about halfway up that, we hit up 74% of who start day one, get to about the day 500 mark, and then 93% of them hit all the way. After that, after 3 full years, 1,000 days, it's game over. It's a once and done approach. So there are no returns. Our results, 900 families saved from the churn, 2,300 kids like Jessica have a hopeful future, 200,000 square feet of hope-filled real estate that we've developed in multiple cities. We're in 9 cities now. $120 million in revenue, earned income generated back into our local economy because all these people have jobs now instead of welfare, TANF, and food stamps, and $51 million in those cost savings over that time frame. But you know, at the end of that journey of the comeback trail, this is Ron and Jamie with their 2 kids. They're about 2 years on the comeback trail from the churn. And you know, when I think about this family, one of the 900 families that have made it out of the churn, the thing that hits me the most that we've learned is that as much as we think that government can fix broken lives, it's really folks like Sean and Lamont and Jessica and her mom and Steve that if equipped and invested in, they're the ones that are gonna rebuild their own lives. And they, instead of us thinking we're gonna save them from the churn, they're saving all of us from the churn if only we equip and invest and inspire them. Thank you.